Hey folks, Jim Savage here, and I just wanted to let you know about a special webinar I've got coming up. It's going to be all about family participation in drug and alcohol treatment. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about how to improve treatment outcomes through effective family support. Now, this is going to be a 90-minute presentation where I'm going to go into detail on 3 specific strategies that families can use to help give your loved one the best chance possible for treatment success. So this is for anyone who's got a loved one who's either currently in treatment or maybe has just completed treatment, but you're still struggling or could use some help in supporting them. Or some of you might just be taking the first steps towards addressing a potential problem, but it looks like it could end up moving towards treatment, and you want to be prepared for when that begins. But regardless of where you're at in the process, this webinar literally has the potential to be a game changer for a lot of families, especially if your loved one's in treatment right now. Because the bottom line is, my whole purpose here is to help families avoid a bad treatment experience. Because quite honestly, when it comes to treating a drug or alcohol problem, there's nothing I hate more than to watch families go through the whole emotional wringer of addressing the problem, go through the whole ordeal of getting them into treatment, lots of times having to spend a ton of money on it, and then just sitting back and hoping that whatever it is that goes on in there is going to work, only to have it all blow up within a few weeks, if not days, after they discharge. And let's be honest here, it happens a lot. But my message here is that it doesn't have to be this way. And this webinar is about showing families a few simple things that you can be doing that are totally within your control that can dramatically improve the chances for treatment success. And the way we're going to do this is by addressing one of the biggest contributors to poor treatment outcomes, and that's the simple fact that families aren't in treatment along with the clients. And that means that the clients end up learning a heck of a lot more about addiction and recovery than the families do. And until we start checking families in along with the clients, which I don't see happening anytime soon, there will always be an inherent gap between the client, the family, and the treatment team. And those gaps are where important things can end up falling through the cracks and ultimately turn into the kind of things that lead to poor treatment outcomes. But the material I'm going to be presenting in this webinar is specifically about what families can be doing to help bridge those gaps. Again, things that are totally within your control and that you can start doing immediately. And you're going to see what it means here when we refer to the family as being the X factor as far as how much of an impact you can actually have on how treatment goes for your loved one. And ultimately, you're going to see that addiction can be successfully treated and that recovery is possible, not just for your loved one, but for your entire family. Take a look at this quote I got from a parent of one of my treatment clients a few years ago. He said, "At the time, I thought my daughter's addiction was the worst thing that could have ever happened to our family. Now I can say that it's the best thing that ever could have happened to our family." And I'm going to show you in this webinar exactly what this dad was talking about, and that it's entirely possible for you to get to the point of being able to say this too. So the webinar is going to be on Wednesday, October 19th. And for your convenience, I'm actually going to do it twice that day. I'm going to do it once at noon, and then I'm going to do it again at 7 p.m., and that's Central Time. So all you have to do is click on the link that you're going to see someplace around this video, and that'll take you to a registration page where you can pick the time that works best for you. Now, one last thing I'm going to mention here. The actual training portion of the webinar is pre-recorded. I do it that way so I can make it available to families on demand, so you can watch it as soon as you need to. Because in the world of drug treatment, the clock is ticking, and I want families to be able to get this as soon as they need it. So you'll see on the registration page that you can actually watch this anytime you want. But for the presentation on the 19th, I'm going to make this an actual event where we're all going to watch the presentation together, and I'm going to actually be live in the chat box where I can be answering questions and we can have discussion that way. So again, Wednesday, October 19th, 2 times to pick from, noon or 7 p.m. Central Time. Take your pick, whichever time works best for you, and I'll look forward to seeing